Hi, and welcome to Murder Monday Live. Tonight we're going to do a Sarah Boone update. We spoke about her. We actually did do a video about her a while ago. I think it was 3 months ago. And now I was going to play a bit about it, but I've actually got the end of the court case or part of the court case lined up. Am I late? Am I late, Bridge? Didn't realise I was late. Anyway, let's see if I can get that up. And Edna's in the house. Good. Right, let me see if I can find let's just get back to that then, and we'll just play a little bit just to remind you all of what we talked about, how the last live stream went. Hey Bridge, how you doing, darling?
Hey, yeah, did your chime change?
Yes.
See, that's it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So we went back. Yeah,
Mhm.
we went back an hour. So
Yep.
yeah, that'll be it. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a better time, so good. Well, a better time for me.
Do your clocks go back at all?
Yes, I think ours is at the end of the month. I'm not too sure. I don't know when ours
Uh,
is.
okay. Well, we're nearly at the end of the month anyway, aren't
Uh-huh.
we?
Mhm.
So yeah, ours went back last weekend. I'd
Mhm.
completely forgotten about that. How weird. Anyway, how
Mhm.
are you? Did you have a good weekend?
Good, yes. What
Mhm.
did I do? I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing.
They're the
Yeah.
best weekends. They're the best weekends.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we've got Edna in the house. She'll be up in a bit. So let's just remind ourselves a little bit of the Sarah Boone story. And just have a look on here. We're all set up. Now, this is when the police are called. I think she's called the police and she's performing. I think it's a performance. Hi, Edna. How you doing?
Hey.
Oh,
You good?
well, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
Did you have a good weekend?
Sure. I don't really remember what I was doing, but I had a great day. I woke up early, got breakfast, talked to my grandma, read
Hmm.
in the park. So it was a good day.
Good. Glad to hear it. Let's hope we have a good week ahead.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So let me play a bit of this just to remind ourselves of the very beginning of the story when she has the police come and discover that the boyfriend's sort of died in the suitcase and TikTok. And then she's like, "Oh no, I've left him in the suitcase."
Mm.
Yeah, all right, love.
Yeah, and then I called him, and then I called you guys.
Did he get here before the fire department got here?
Who?
Your husband? Or
Yes.
your ex-husband?
Yes.
Okay. Where the killer at?
Right on the street.
Okay. So you were playing and who whipped him up?
I did, but then I fell asleep.
Okay. You're okay. I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what
I
happened.
fell asleep, so I don't know if he suffocated or like had an aneurysm or a heart attack or
What kind of
what.
medical conditions did he have?
None that I know of.
Nothing that you know of.
None
You
that
didn't
I
take
know
any
of.
medicine
No.
last night?
No.
So now she's realised that she better, pretend that she's shocked. This is all such a big shock to her.
Mhm.
I can't believe it. I can't believe I went to sleep. Well, I mean, you went upstairs and you went to bed, leaving him downstairs yelling. Okay, now what we can do actually is have a look at Dr. Grande's take on it. Have you seen it, Bridge? Have you
I've
seen
seen this
his
one.
take on it?
Yep.
Oh, you have?
Mhm.
What did you think?
You know what? I don't even remember what he said. I just saw his
Okay.
update of it. I don't remember what he said though.
Right, so let's have a look. So, all right, now initially he started 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He did lethal hide and seek 2 years ago. That's how long that it's taken for this case to come at last. Oh, so he's done a few on there. All right. So at last it's actually come to court. So he then did another one. Did suitcase killer prove her point by testifying at her trial? Testimony analysis. That was 4 days ago. Then 2 days ago, suitcase suffocator's dramatic finish. Okay, we could look at that. Or 2 weeks ago, did Sarah Boone turn down the plea deal of the century? Yeah, did you hear that? She actually turned down the plea deal.
You know what? I was
No,
about
what
to
was
watch that one. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, what was the plea deal?
Yeah,
Was it 15 years, I think?
I don't know. Because I was about to watch that one, but I didn't get to it.
Okay. So that was 2 weeks ago. Or the one that he's done. Oh, so the latest one must be that one. Yeah, that must be that one. So what, do you want to watch that then? Shall we see
Mhm.
did she turn down the plea deal of the century?
Mhm.
Yeah, that
Right.
sounds good.
Rejection and what may be going on with Sarah Boone. I'm recording this on October 13, 2024. Tomorrow, Sarah Boone's trial starts. So let's take a look at the background, again, brief background of the case. Sarah Boone lived in Winter Park, Florida, near Orlando. She lived in a residence with her boyfriend, George Torres. He had a history of domestic violence. It was a tumultuous relationship. In late February 2020, Sarah called the police and said her boyfriend was dead. This, of course, attracted their attention, and they came by the residence. They found
He has got such a sarcastic sense of humor. I love it. I love it.
that
Mhm.
Sarah was correct. George was dead. He had died from positional asphyxiation because he had been zipped in a suitcase. Sarah claimed that they were playing some version of hide and seek. Not sure they really understood how that game worked, but she zipped him into the suitcase. She thought he could unzip himself because she saw his fingers sticking out. She went to bed. When she woke up the next morning, she found him dead after coming downstairs. Now, the police found 2 videos that Sarah recorded on her cell phone. And in these videos, she was taunting George, like she was recording the actual suitcase on the floor in the residence and taunting him as he repeatedly called out her name, asking to be freed from the suitcase.
That was so disturbing seeing that, and also listening to her tone when she was talking to him. She was loving it. She was
Mhm.
like,
Oh yeah.
it was sick.
So this led to Sarah being charged with second-degree murder. Now, in Florida, this charge comes with a penalty that ranges from 22.5 years in prison to life in prison. So it's a serious deal. And Sarah Boone, she goes to jail and she starts causing a lot of grief around her attorneys. So she went through 8 attorneys, mostly because she didn't like them. At least this is what she claims. There were irreconcilable differences. They disrespected her, all this stuff. I mean, could that happen with 1 or 2 attorneys out of 8? Maybe, but all 8? Like all 8 were terrible to her?
That's what amazes me, that somebody like this, who's obviously a master manipulator, can get away with that. I mean, how can she keep, and that's what delayed the case, wasn't it? That's what delayed the court case, because she kept, moaning about or firing or whatever her attorneys. It's insane, don't you think?
Mhm.
It's very
Oh,
hard to believe.
absolutely.
It
It
seems clear
reminded
she
me of
was
a
trying
story
to.
I saw about a woman. She was dealing. Oh,
No, go on.
Yes, go
You want to
ahead. This
delay?
was a tangent.
You want to delay, Edna?
Yeah, I think she is. Yeah, go on. You were
Sorry.
saying it reminds you of a case of a woman who what? She
Well,
did the
she was
same thing.
dealing with something. No, well, no, her case was she was trying to get through the court system, dealing with something with like child support or something. But it's just like the way I guess it would be the bureaucracy of the court system is terrible.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. And this woman managed to get away with it. And in the end, didn't she say that she wanted to defend herself? I think she's so good at
Oh,
manipulating, and
did
she
she?
knows she's good at manipulating, that she actually believed that she'd be able to manipulate the jury. That's what I think.
Wow.
I thought that they made her defend herself, like the judge made, because the judge was so tired of her.
Oh,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm like
but she
that level of delusion is something else. That's crazy. Like I
yeah.
wouldn't imagine trying to defend myself on this level, with this at stake, like a murder charge. That's crazy.
I know, but I think Bridge is right in saying that in the end, the judge was just like, right, okay, you've just fired the final, the final attorney, so this is going to court on such and such a date, whether you've got an attorney
Mhm.
or not. I
Mhm.
think it had sort of reached that stage. So, and it's quite interesting that she did actually end up with an attorney, didn't she?
Mhm.
But it's quite interesting. I think in the video that I watched earlier, the Todd Grande video I watched earlier, he said that one of the things that was quite noticeable was that her attorney didn't seem to know, all his papers were all over the place, and he was in a bit of a a kerfuffle about it. And I'm not surprised. I mean, she probably only he probably just turned up on the morning and didn't know anything about it.
Right. Yeah.
It was just ridiculous, but I think it still points to the fact that she is a master manipulator and very delusional with it as well.
Mhm.
Stall or do something to disrupt the proceedings. I don't know. It didn't work. So ultimately, the judge said, look, Sarah, you're going to trial one way or the other. The state's not going to assign another attorney. You can get one on your own, or you can go pro se, so she could represent
Mm.
herself. That was the plan. But then Sarah managed to find a ninth attorney, someone brave enough or whatever to take on the case. So it appears at this point that the whole hide and seek business is not really something she's going with. Instead, this is going to be a battered woman syndrome type.
That's what I think she was going to aim for. And I think possibly what happened was the other attorneys said that's not going to work. They're not going to accept that.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite interesting that that was her defense, that she was a battered wife. And this was, done in self-defense. But I think because everything was so documented, she was never going to get away with that.
Well, I think that she actually was battered too, because I think that her and the guy were both alcoholics.
Yeah,
So yeah, and he was in and out of jail all the time too. So I think she was battered. But
yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think she was
Mhm.
as well.
Case. This is self-defense. So it's not like, oh, he zipped him up and then he died and it was just a big mistake. Now it's George was a terrible person. He was mistreating her, all this. And somehow she was justified in using lethal force expressed through a suitcase. I've never really seen another case like this. I'm not sure how you can defend yourself with a suitcase, but either way.
Anyway, so I think we're going to stop there and let's look at what actually happens in the court case, because I think it's quite interesting. The one that I found, let's see if I can find it now. is a bit where
Wait, I think I missed what the plea deal was that she turned down.
oh yeah. Oh. You know I leave all over the place. Edna,
Okay,
you're
let me
so
see if I can
annoying.
Google it.
Right, well, hang on. No, hang on. What does... Right, I'm just looking at what he says. What happens if she is convicted? Yeah, I don't know when he talks about that. Right, hang on a minute. Let's put him back. Right, so where are we? There. What happens if she is convicted? I don't know if he speaks the worst plea deal decision. All right, let's go from here then. All right, just for Edna. Here we go, Edna.
Thank you.
I think I may have ever seen. I've covered many cases over the years, and a fair number had a plea deal which was, well, accepted, and a fair number had a plea deal which was rejected. I can understand the idea of rejecting a plea deal if somebody's like 60 years old and the plea deal is for 40 years. Like, say they're facing first-degree murder or something in some jurisdiction, and they're offered 40 instead of going to trial and risking life without the possibility of parole. Okay. That kind of makes sense because you might as well take a chance. Who knows what could happen? The jury, one member of the jury could just be like, no, I'm not going to convict. It's a mistrial. The state gets tired. Maybe they offer a better plea deal.
1.5 speed.
An acquittal is
Yeah, he does talk slow, doesn't he? Well, you're very demanding tonight, Edna. Gonna have to have a word with you. Right, okay. 1.5, is that all right, Edna?
Well, okay, Jen, I didn't want to say anything, but since you're giving me lip, we're not scheduled to have Murder Monday today. It was last week.
Oh.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Yes.
No.
Edna, look, I believe Edna because Edna has she put it on her calendar. She told me she put it on her calendar. Yep.
Oh, but we didn't do Murder Monday last week.
Because you canceled it.
Exactly. That's why we're doing it this week.
Wait a minute, because you know what? Like when you cancel the Wednesday, Health Wednesday, you just go to the next week. You don't
Wednesday.
Whatever it's called. The Wednesday.
Oh, they're all gagging up on me. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, all right. Yeah, you're right. All right. Okay. Sorry, girls. Sorry. Right. Can we carry on then?
Yes.
At the age of 60 is functionally a life sentence. So you might as well just take your chances. But when you're looking at being in your 40s and facing 8 years versus life, this is just an unbelievable selection. Rejection of the plea deal just doesn't make any sense.
It was 8 years. They offered her 8 years.
Oh.
So she would have been out probably like in 6, maybe even 4 if she had like good behavior.
Oh my God, I didn't realize it was 8. That's mad.
That's an
She's already been in for about 3 or 4 years.
So she would have had like time served.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what Sarah's attorney said to her. I'm guessing that the prevailing thought was accepting the plea deal was a good idea and Sarah's being resistant, but I don't know. So why did Sarah reject this plea deal? This is, again, bizarre. This doesn't make any sense. It's one of those shocking plea deal rejections I've ever seen, maybe the most shocking. I was a little surprised the state even offered the deal. The only thing I can really think of here, outside of like mental health symptoms that are severely affecting judgment, is that Sarah is kind of over it. She's beyond this idea of accepting guilt, and this has now become like a war. This has become like some type of magical journey to some crusade to prove her innocence. This isn't about spending time in prison, either 8 years or life or somewhere in between. This is about vindication, right? She was falsely accused, and all these attorneys who, again, this is what she's saying, all these attorneys that have tried to help her, they're just terrible people and they disrespected her, and she's not going to give up her desire to be respected. She said something like that in this 58-page letter that she wrote some time ago to the judge. It was I covered it in a video. There's a lot to it, but really she's trying to make this case about her being victimized, right? So she's being targeted by the state of Florida, and apparently just about everyone who works for or in connection with the state. So it's a massive conspiracy. This trial is her big chance to prove that she was right this entire time, and that's it. I think that's what's going on. I think she has made it to where she has to win. She's willing to gamble everything. And
right, has that satisfied you, Edna? Let's see her in court, shall we?
Yes, thank you.
Let's see her in court right now. I'm probably not going to blooming find it now. What was the one? Now, where was it? It was where she was being cross-examined. Right, which one was that? I'll share it with you. Right, it was where... Okay, it might be this one. Okay, let's look at this one. I'm going to have to turn it down.
All right, now, today you testified about the time frame between the two videos, correct? Yes. So you came down from the shower where you were hiding, correct? Yes. And as you're coming down...
That's a new one. She was hiding in the shower. That's a new one. I've not heard of that.
On the stairs, before you even get to the bottom of the stairs, you can kind of see over your shoulder or towards your right that he's trying to hide.
Why was she hiding in the shower?
Yeah.
I don't know. No idea. I think that's a new piece of evidence.
And the lid is down, but it's not closed, and you can tell he's hiding in there. It's not great hiding spot just yet, right? Right. And so you come over to him, and you're laughing, right?
Oh, so it was in the game of hide and seek. So that's a good place to hide. I know. I'll go and hide in a shower.
I mean, you got the shower curtain to hide you.
I mean, yeah,
right.
maybe she had a shower curtain. I don't know. But okay, so that's the story she's going with.
Closed, and you can tell he's hiding in there. It's not great hiding spot just yet, right? Right. And so you come over to him, and you're laughing, right? And you move the suitcase around some before zipping it shut, right? No. No? You immediately zip it shut? Yes. Okay. And you're both still laughing about it, correct? Correct. All right.
It just seems bizarre to me. Girls, I don't know where you live. You're living well, I do, but anyway, you're living arrangements. Have you got a great big suitcase in the middle of your lounge?
It's in the mine is in the closet.
Exactly. Who has a suitcase in the middle of the lounge?
Yeah.
Unless, you're going on holiday and you're packing, you're getting ready to pack.
They don't seem like they have everything all together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Sometimes people use suitcases like when they go shopping, like grocery shopping or something. They might use that as like a cart.
What? I ain't never heard of that.
What? What? They go shopping with a suitcase?
I might have done it a time or two.
Okay. All right.
Well, okay, so pandemic first happened. We weren't going to the grocery stores often, so I used my suitcase to kind of load up.
That's an idea.
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that, Edna.
I'm just trying to help Sarah out.
Yeah. Someone's got to be on her case. Someone's got to be on her side, rather.
But also, like Edna doesn't drive, so that kind of makes sense. Like you're just gonna roll the suitcase. Yeah. Okay. I get it.
Weird. Okay.
And then it's during this course of time. How quickly is it after you zip it shut that you begin filming the first video?
I don't know without watching it. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, the video's not going to catch you zipping him up because you're like 10 feet away, right? How quickly after you zip him up is it before the video starts? Is my question.
I don't know.
Okay. And then during that 9 minutes and 14 seconds is when he begins to get angry, correct?
What 9 minutes?
Between the two videos, there's 9 minutes and 14 seconds between the end of 1061 and the beginning of 1062 and 1063. So you got the 2 minute, 3 second video that starts at 11:12:45, correct?
I guess.
Permission to use state 17?
You may.
It's amazing to me that she believed that she could get away with this. It's insane to me.
I mean, I understand that she doesn't think she did anything wrong, like it was an accident or what have you. So,
do you really believe
she doesn't.
that? Do you believe that she?
No. Well, I don't know. I think it doesn't really matter because, the man ended up dead, but at the same time, do I think she had the intention of killing him? I don't know. I think she, was in a different state and she made a terrible decision.
I just find the whole sort of scenario and the whole timeline to be that she gives to be
Mhm.
unbelievable. That she said, they were in the middle of a game of hide and seek, and she came out of the shower. She must have been hiding in the shower, so she's come down, and they're all giggly, and he climbs into the suitcase, and she zips him up immediately. I mean, I just can't imagine that actually happening.
It's childish, but I can see that happening. Like people
Can
play around in
you?
suitcases and trucks and trunks and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I remember when I was a kid, like it was fun to hop in the trunk and, to do silly stuff like that.
I
So
mean,
I think
yeah,
if they're like yeah, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say that I jumped in the trunk as an adult, and I was like, "Look, close it." Close it as an adult. So yeah, okay.
Really?
Like,
Yeah, I did.
I mean, I don't know. I can be kind of silly sometimes, so
Oh.
I see it.
No,
Maybe
because you
it's
know
a
what? I remember because I was with my friend at the car dealership and she was looking for a new car. And one of the features that the car salesman was like, you can open the trunk from the inside. I was like, oh, really? Let me try it.
That's
oh
cool.
my God.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you
I mean, you're just
Americans are
testing the
weird.
product.
Can't, what? I don't- honestly, I'm almost speechless, and that doesn't happen very often.
I
I've always
know.
got
I mean, but
something to
doesn't it sound
say.
like that's reasonable? If you're buying a new car and they say you can open it up from the inside, jump inside and test it out.
Yep. Like the man, he looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, no, I'm doing it.
Really? I sat in the bathtub in my place before I bought it. I was like, I need to make sure it's comfy.
Oh my God. I need to find 2 new panelists. This is insane. I was just going to say, Edna, never go on the jury. Never accept jury service. And
Oh,
then
I
they
know they wouldn't pick me.
saying, oh, well, yeah, well, I jumped in the trunk. Well, oh, God. Oh, my God. You're both insane. Oh, okay. All right. So let's carry on.
I was actually looking up her while there's silence. I was looking up her level of education because like she's the type of person that seems like she feels like she's smarter than everyone else. So I was trying to look up her level of education to see what it was because it reminded me of this other woman who actually unalived one of her sons, and she was very bright. She was like brilliant, and she had like degrees in law and stuff like that. And she thought that she was smarter than everybody else, and thought she was going to get away with it. But I couldn't find Sarah's level of education.
Yeah.
First of all, if you're on trial, you're not as smart as you thought you were.
Right. Exactly.
But I think there definitely seems to be some level of delusion with her. And whether it's because she thinks she's brighter than everybody else or she's just, so good at manipulating that she feels that she could get away with murder quite literally. I don't know. That's why I think it's interesting to actually see what she was like in the court case. Because, it just seems it just seems amazing to me. It's like it's all there on film, the way that she spoke to him and everything. It's all there, and yet she thinks that she can prove to everybody that she is the victim here, and it's just insane to me. There's always loads of pauses. Come on, hurry up.
That indicates, according to the phone extraction, 2/23/2020, 11:12, 45 p.m. Image _ 1062 movie begins being captured. And we've seen that that is about 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Entry 31113 indicates that image _ 1063 got moved.
Oh, they say you want to act like you don't know what time it was. Let's remind you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't really understand that. This is all about cameras within the courthouse, though. Control presentation devices. That's got nothing to do with her taking, the videos at the time. I don't understand that, guys. Do you?
Oh,
If
maybe
you
it's just like a default screen or something as they're getting the presentation together.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. So let's jump forward a bit. Let's see.
Captured by your phone and you, Mr. Torres began getting angry and trying to push his way out, correct?
Say it one more time, please.
Between these two movies, of which there's about 9 minutes and 14 seconds, Mr. Torres begins to get angry and try and push his way out and get out of the suitcase, correct?
He had been angry on and off throughout the entire day.
Okay. You didn't tell us that earlier. You said it was a wonderful, fun day all day, correct?
That's because I worked.
Okay. But you did not tell us earlier today that he had been angry throughout the day.
When did I say that?
You described your entire day of doing puzzles, arts and crafts, and outside by the dartboard, and you said it was a wonderful day and everything was fun until he was in the suitcase. Did you not testify to that earlier today?
I did.
Okay. My specific question between these two movies is, this is when he begins to get angry and trying to push his way out and to get out of the suitcase, correct?
Angry again, yes.
Okay. And he was expressing his anger in what manner? How did he say this?
At which point throughout the day?
Ma'am, you know very well that I'm talking about between these movies. Please answer my
Oh, she's so annoying. This is what she was like on, to the police that time. She's so sort of evasive, intentionally evasive.
my question. Between these two movies, how did he express his anger with you?
Told me that I was going to fucking die.
Okay. Now this is happening after he's already told you several times he cannot breathe in the suitcase, correct?
Correct.
And he's been in there for whatever brief amount of time it took you to zip him up, and the laughter stops, and then you begin to film, correct? And you're filming. Your purpose of filming is to kind of teach him a lesson. This is your chance to say something to him when he can't say anything back to you, correct?
No.
You correct me.
There was no lesson to be learned. It was just I wanted him to try to understand how I felt, so maybe he could progress in being a better person the next day.
What? By zipping him into a suitcase?
So
maybe to
you want him
have power over someone.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's about. But she didn't want to say that. She's very careful in what she says, and I can't think of another word other than manipulating people. That's exactly what she's doing. She's redirecting and, pretending that she doesn't understand the question, and that,
understand how
Reminds me
you
of
felt in the
somebody
past,
else.
and that's not teaching a lesson?
Yes. Oh, we know people like that, don't we? There's an old
Like
saying.
when the attorney was like, well, you didn't say that before. I was waiting for her to say, well, you didn't ask.
Yes, exactly. I know, the audacity of people.
Okay, so technically that's a crime. Can we talk about that?
Is it?
Because I was like, that's Drama Friday. I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But yes.
I just wanted him to understand.
All right, and so immediately prior to zipping him up and putting him into the movie, you had been upstairs, correct?
I'm sorry.
Immediately before coming down and zipping him up and then filming the first of the two movies, you had been upstairs in the shower, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to publish what has been labeled as image_1061, which according to the timeline was captured at 11:03 p.m. 31 seconds with her device. All right. Does this appear to be the suitcase that's in question in the two movies that are filmed at 11:12 and 11:23 p.m.?
We're back to that screen again. Come on, it always makes me laugh. These blooming attorneys are rubbish on computers. Right, here we go. Here we go. That's the suitcase.
Did you take this image at 11:03 p.m.?
I don't remember if I did or not.
Oh,
And again, we had, and by we I mean you and Mr. Torres, two 1.5 liters bottles of wine and plus whatever was left over from the day before, correct?
Correct.
So you don't remember taking this photograph?
I don't.
Do you remember whether or not Mr. Torres was in here?
I don't remember taking a photo.
Okay. So what is your memory of what happens between 11:03 p.m. and 31 seconds when that image is captured and then when the movie starts at 11:12:45? What do you remember?
I don't.
what's that then? Selected amnesia, is it? She doesn't remember. She doesn't remember
alcohol
taking the
may do it.
picture. She doesn't remember what happened in between. I hope she gets life. That's what I hope.
What? Oh,
Remember
they haven't said what they haven't said what her sentence is.
No, she's been sentenced. I think it's about the 3rd of December.
Oh, wow. Jeez, what are these space things out so long?
I don't know.
Thing from that night?
I do.
You told the police on February 25th, 2020, when they first showed you the video, that you didn't remember taking that. Remember that?
I do.
And your testimony is you do remember taking that video,
I do.
but you don't remember taking that photograph 9 minutes prior.
Correct.
Is there something? Did you have more to drink in those 9 minutes?
I did not.
Was Mr. Torres in that suitcase the entire time between 11:03 when that image was taken and then when the second video was taken at 11:23 p.m.?
I believe so, yes.
So for 20 minutes? Yes?
However long the time frame is.
Did he begin telling you that he couldn't breathe before the video, or do you not remember?
I don't remember.
She's not even a good liar. She's not a good liar.
That's torture.
It's like,
Like,
even though the points are so obvious, she's just going to deny. Oh, well, I don't remember that. And no, I can't remember that. It's so annoying. What were you going to say, Edna?
yeah, because I'm gonna say because she tortured the man. You know, like if you really think about it, she had to sit there for 20 minutes hearing him beg for his life,
Yeah,
at least. You know, like that is so sick.
yeah. I was wondering while I was watching that, watching the face twitching and everything, and you can see it more when it's faster because I've still got this on 1.5 and you can see it more. And I'd love to hear what a body language person would say about her facial expressions when this is going on. Like her lip keeps twitching.
I think that's like a twitch of disgust.
Yeah, quite possibly. But I also feel that she's not really giving much away. What do you think? I don't think her eyes give anything away. What do you think?
I feel like I don't know, I'm getting she's over it. She thinks this is like a formality, unnecessary. I mean, maybe she's not giving a whole lot, but I think she's giving what it is. Oh, we have people in the chat.
What do you think, Bridge?
I don't know. I have to analyze her a little bit more.
Okay. Hi, Mary. Oh, and then we've got somebody called No Comment. Hi. Oh, you're glad we're covering this. Yes, you've been trying to follow the trial. Yeah, interesting. Is there a psych term for her type of delusion? Good question.
It's like that Karen entitlement.
Mm.
Yes, entitled delusion, maybe. If there is such a thing. She does have a sense of, or she shows a sense of entitlement that she didn't really show when she was first arrested, but she's definitely showing it here.
Well, I think when she was first arrested, she didn't realize that she was going to be like held accountable for anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think she thought that it was going to just be kind of swept away.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a good point there, Edna.
Now, you testified moments ago that your two neighbors must have misremembered which night the loud noise was, correct?
Yes.
And now you're telling us that you don't remember taking the photograph at 11:03 p.m., correct?
Correct.
Did the police come out to your townhouse on Sunday, February 23rd, 2020?
Yes.
I'm talking about Sunday. This is the Sunday fun day when we're going to Publix twice. Were the police out of your residence?
No.
It was the day after, Monday the 24th, correct?
Yes.
And that Monday morning, you called 911, well, Monday afternoon at about 1 p.m., correct?
Yes.
And between that time frame, you were the only person in your apartment plus Mr. Torres in the suitcase, correct?
Yes.
So if anything had been disturbed in your apartment, you had all the time that you wanted to undisturb them before calling 911, correct?
If I wanted to.
Okay. And your testimony is there was no loud boom that shook the walls of your townhouse at about 11 p.m. the night of February 23rd, 2020, correct?
Correct.
To the best of your memory, correct?
Correct.
So I wonder what the loud boom was. I didn't hear about that.
I
Could
remember
have been
that.
him falling down the stairs or something? I don't know.
Like her kicking the suitcase down the stairs or something like that.
Yeah.
With him in it?
Yep.
Quite possibly. You're right, Mary. I also feel that she appears, above it all. Yeah, because another thing that they did notice is that she's taken pictures of the suitcase twice, and on the second time, the suitcase was in a different position. So she
That's
wouldn't have been able
right.
to remove that on her own, would she?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. Yeah.
So it'd be
I mean,
interesting.
it's really wild to think about. Like, I can imagine doing something like this. Because,
I know.
I mean, I like the garden. I can understand, like, not really being in your right mind, but I don't think I would ever be in such a state that, that I would think this is okay.
I know. It's insane. And what's so frightening, I think, she just looks like, well, she looks a bit like a Karen, doesn't she? But she just looks like a regular type of Karen type. And she's done this appalling thing where, she's allegedly, well, she's been proven to have murdered this guy. And she's meant to have loved this guy as well. It just it's the mind is an amazing tool. It's just seems insane to me. I just
Absolutely.
can't comprehend it.
That's another part. Like, how could you do this to somebody that you love? I mean,
Exactly.
anybody, but like if I had this much like built up anger, resentment, animosity, whatever you want to call it, I wouldn't have anything to do with the person
No.
because like I would not want to be this person. Like this is crazy that she like I don't like it's kind of like a peek into her mind that she had this like bubbling underneath that it just took a little alcohol for her to do something like this.
Yeah. I'd actually quite like to know how she got him in that suitcase.
Yeah.
I don't know how she persuaded him to get in there. I really don't. And if she did, in fact, persuade him to get in there, then she should have been tried for murder and not second-degree murder, because she
But
was
I think
found
that
guilty with second degree.
like they were both drunk and probably acting really stupid. Like, hey, I bet you can fit in the suitcase. You try it, and they're just fucking both drunk and stupid. It was probably some
Yeah.
situation like that.
Yeah, but then how can you be that evil, though, Bridge? You know?
Because I think it just got to the point, like Edna had said, that like she had this underneath, but when that alcohol got up in her, it's like, okay, you're thinking about all the times that he beat you up, and here you go. Here's your revenge.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got a good point there.
Now, that second video, the 22 seconds where you just hear him say Sarah and you don't say anything, you're familiar with that video, correct?
Yes.
It's after that you go upstairs, correct?
Yes.
How quickly does it get you go upstairs after that?
It was pretty quick.
Can you grab the dogs?
No, the dogs were upstairs already.
Okay. Did you call 911 and let the police know that you had zipped somebody shut in a suitcase and they had not been able to get out for 20 minutes?
I did not.
Did you go to Brian's house and tell him, I had to zip Mr. Torres up in a suitcase shut? We need to do something about that before he passes.
I believe that's what the phone call was.
Okay. Well, what do you remember now about the phone call with Brian?
I know that I called him. I don't know specifically what it was about.
Now, your testimony, it seems like you spend day after day finding things to entertain Mr. Torres to do, correct?
Yes,
Almost like having a child. You have your own child, correct?
I do.
What you described sounded like having a small child. Would you agree?
That's your interpretation.
Okay. Well, you take him from doing arts and crafts to doing puzzles, so on and so forth, correct?
When he's been drinking, yes.
So when he's been drinking, she
Mhm.
does arts and crafts and things with him.
Mhm.
I mean, but I think she's omitting to say that she was also drunk.
Yeah.
And if she wasn't, then she's even more evil. If that's
And
possible.
speaking of body language, she's blinking a little bit too much for me.
I think so. I
Mhm.
did pick up on that. She's blinking a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a sign of
Trying to block it out, like you're lying.
Oh,
yeah, or deception.
yeah, I was gonna say being untruthful.
Yeah. We're thinking alike, girls. We're on the
Mhm.
same page for a change. Doesn't happen very often.
And Mr. Torres was notorious for doing some of these things, correct?
What do you mean?
Well, you described Mr. Torres as being notoriously known for doing things. You described your ex-husband, Brian Boone, notorious for doing things like nagging and calling all the time. You remember your testimony calling people notorious for doing things?
Yes.
What would you say people would say you're notorious for?
Being drunk.
Mm.
And you would not answer Brian Boone, your ex-husband's phone calls, just so that you could let him know that you're busy and you have things going on, correct?
I knew that at whatever time it was that he was calling me, that he could wait for the few moments of me getting up to where Lucas gets out of school at 3 o'clock.
Okay. But you would return his call. You would let him call several times, correct?
That day, yes.
Okay. How about other days? Would he have to call to remind you to get Lucas on other days?
He wasn't reminding me. He was just making sure that Lucas was covered for a pickup or drop off.
All right.
That's a frightening aspect. She was a mother of a young boy as well. And I remember, Bridge, when we talked about this before, you were saying that you felt that the ex, who she seemed to share the little boy with, was enabling her, enabling her drinking.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't mention to the sheriff's office either February 24th or February 25th about going to Publix with Mr. Torres at noon or 12:17, did you?
I don't recall.
So the best evidence of that would be the recording of those interviews?
Correct.
Did you not remember going to Publix with Mr. Torres that day?
At what point?
At any point?
No, I didn't.
You
I missed that. What's he asking her? Whether she remembers going to where with him?
Publix, the grocery store. It was a grocery store.
Okay. Oh, they probably went for their supply of booze.
it indicated to the police that it was about 4 p.m. that you all had started drinking after doing chores. You recall that?
I do.
And your testimony today was that it was really more after you guys went to Publix at about 12 to 17 p.m., correct?
Yes.
And you did not tell the truth to the police, correct? I'm sorry. You did not tell the truth to the police about that, correct?
I did not.
And when they were asking you about Mr. Torres's injuries, you told them that you had nothing to do with it, correct?
Mm. Yeah, because he had a lot of injuries as well, I remember. So that also tallies with the idea or the concept that maybe she pushed him down the stairs.
But did you hear? Because I remember what I heard in Dr. Grande's take on it, his update, that one of her defenses was that it was she was retaliating for battered women syndrome, and she was beating the suitcase.
Oh,
that's
no.
what came out. Yeah, that's what came out in the trial.
Oh.
Is that shown in the autopsy? Do we know? Like, was his body all bruised up?
Yeah, yeah. I think that came out quite early on.
When they were interviewing her.
Right. Shall we move on to the bit where she explains about the suitcase? Are you up for this, guys? I think maybe I should give a trigger warning. I don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so this is where she's obviously going to get up and she's going to try and explain away what actually happened with the suitcase. But if you're easily triggered, then I suggest you switch off now.
Or brace yourself.
Yeah.
That suitcase really is not that big.
No, it's not.
I wonder if that's the same suitcase. It must be, mustn't it?
Yeah,
because
well, he has
he's
gloves
wearing
on.
gloves as well. Yeah.
Yep.
So you don't think it's that big? No, because if you look at the guy there, mind you, I think the guy that her ex, this Torres guy, I think he was quite slim built from what I remember seeing, the pictures of him. But even so, to bend up into there is like, yeah, it'd have to be quite a contortionist, wouldn't he?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that big.
Can you demonstrate for the jury?
I was just thinking, imagine if he had like a bigger suitcase or one that was like had a really smooth zipper. This could be a whole different story.
Yeah, but I think she'd zipped it right up so that there was no way he could get out. Because I mean, how are you gonna?
They said that he could poke. He was poking his fingers out. But you see how this man, it took him a while to actually open it all the way up with both of his hands.
Yeah.
Like the zipper was getting stuck. So even if he could get his fingers in there, it wasn't going to slide down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Position in the suitcase if you don't mind.
His back was this way and his head was here.
All right, and then is it fair to say his feet are kind of down here, which would be the front left corner from their perspective in the jury box?
Yes.
And then his knees are kind of tucked up towards his face.
If I remember correctly, yes, that's the position.
Okay. All right. Can you help me understand how it was that his zip is shut? Can you show us where you say he left an opening that his hand got out of?
What they should have done was make her get in there. If I was the lawyer, I'd be like, right, get your ass in there and let me see if I can zip you up in there.
Right.
If the glove doesn't fit, he must have quit.
I'd be like, go on then, get in.
Or I would get like a dummy that was like his height, his weight, his build, and then put it in there to see like how he was scrunched up in there.
Yes, because the way she described it, she said his back was along here, along the back. his head was there and his feet were, I don't know, the guy said where the feet was. He should have left her to explain everything, really. But he said something about, and his legs were sort of bent up towards his face or something like that. And she just, said yes. But he should have made her be more specific, I think.
All right. Can you help me understand how it was that his zip is shut? Can you show us where you say you left an opening that's hand cut out of?
Would it be easier to put it down here?
I didn't want to make you go down there. If you're happy doing that, I'll let you.
Yeah, just do it, man.
Does she need to be wearing gloves?
Yes, agree. She's going to be manipulating it.
This is really disturbing because I have similar suitcase to this. Now I want to go buy some new suitcase.
Edna.
Look, wait a minute, because I was just thinking, I was like, let me go get my big suitcase and see if I can fit myself in there.
It's the same color, and it's like those zippers stick. Like I'm just like,
Oh no,
it's time to
Edna.
upgrade.
I've got one that's got mine's really bright, surprisingly, and it's got like the Eiffel Tower and all different things on it.
Oh,
But,
nice.
yeah. Yeah, so it definitely is the real one. Okay.
Well, yeah, the man
Just
died.
demonstrate how she zipped it shut.
Okay, well, where's the paperclip?
Why's the other guy standing there? Go away. We don't need you there. Just go away, man. Why's he standing there looking at it? That's fake. No, fuck off. No,
It's like
what?
he can hear you and he got even more in the way.
What, is he gonna get in there? He can't even zip it. Oh, go away. What's
This
he
paperclip was on when this event occurred. When we pulled the suitcase out earlier, the paperclip was not attached. So now the prosecutor's attached the paperclip. We don't know if that's the way it was attached.
Oh, that's the other lawyer.
We don't know if that's the proper way that it was attached. But he's asking her now to pull.
Is there an objection?
Yes.
Approach.
Oh, for God's sake. Get on with it, for God's sake.
This is why I couldn't be.
See how it was. That the
It's
two
like
zipper
you know
parts
she's
were
guilty of sin.
I know. It's just such a waste of time, isn't it? It really is.
Because if I was her lawyer, I'd be like, okay, I know you're guilty, but I'm about to win this case. I'm about to win it. We're gonna prove your innocence. I'm gonna fight for you. Just out
Yeah.
of spite, you know.
Positioned when you say that Mr. Torres was able to get his hand out. If you want me to do it, I'm fine to take your direction.
From what I remember, this is how the suitcase was. This was up here. This was not this hard either. So this was like here.
Okay.
Right here.
That is a stiff old zip.
Well, yeah, it is.
And what's this go? Just go away. Go
No,
away.
that's the
Fuck off.
lawyer from the other side. So he has to be there to see what the hell they're doing. I'd be looking too. Like, hold on, let me see.
I'd be like, listen, if you really think she didn't do it, you get in there and let her zip you up in there.
No, that's the lawyer that thinks that she did it.
What? The one standing up?
The one getting the gloves right now, he's on the other side saying that she did it.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. How did I get that so wrong then? I think you're wrong, Brig.
The
She's wrong. isn't
opposition
she, Edna?
defended.
I think the one that's the one on the floor, I think he's the one
The
that
plaintiff?
is the prosecutor. This
Prosecutor, that's
is
right.
guy, isn't it?
Well, Well, even if it's opposite, I'd be like, hold on, what are you doing? My client is innocent. I'm not trying to have you do any nefarious stuff to my client.
Right there, ma'am?
Sure.
I assume this one was much closer? It's not over there? Where do you
You asked me where I zipped it.
when you say that was zipped shut, show us.
Are you talking about how I zipped it, or?
When you're done zipping it shut and he's inside of it, where are the zipper components?
Right. So he's trying to see, because she said that he could get out because his 2 fingers or 3 fingers were coming outside the suitcase. That's what he's trying to prove, that it's not possible. How the hell did she zip him in there?
I mean, it was the corner. I mean, it's not. Yes, this one was on the beach.
He had to have willingly got in there.
How he was coming with his hand out, it was like this from the corner part.
Okay. Thank you. You can return your keys.
Nobody believes you. You're a liar.
Yeah.
Right. So I just want to see anything else there. Right. I want to see the verdict. All right. I think we deserve that after all this. Right. Which one? She sits emotionless. Well, what a surprise. As verdict is read. Right. Hang on. Emotionless. Yeah. What was I trying to say? God knows.
Emotionless. So when you add an extra syllable in there.
Emotional.
I do it all the time.
So do I. Right, which one? We won't do the news one. I don't like the news ones. They get right on my nerves. Right, let's go this one then. Okay.
Seated.
Someone's phone's going.
What's annoying about the news ones for you?
Because they just sit there and no, I'd much rather just see the court case. I don't want to watch, these people fill out a whole story, online. I don't know. I just prefer the real thing, the court case.
See it for yourself.
Yeah. See, Bridge, there's the old boy that was getting in the way.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, with his Coke. Looks a bit of a messy court, doesn't it? What's all this going on here? It's like Hussey's kitchen. Look at it. All this. I should tell you this up.
But let me tell you, these courts are not like professional like you see like on TV, on the TV shows and stuff like that. Because like when I went to go to jury duty and you got the lawyers right there, one lawyer, she was like in a flowery dress. I was like, this is not like what I see on TV. What is going on?
Yeah, you know what though? Like movies and TV have really messed up our mind, and like social media. I can imagine how Gen Alpha's gonna turn out, because you don't know what's real, and these kids already don't have their brains developed to be able to discern anything. So it's crazy.
Yeah, you're right. You're not. Mind you, I do have to say, what's wrong with an attorney in a floral dress?
No, but it was just like I expect a lawyer to be in like a suit, in a blazer and stuff like that. But it was just like a regular dress that you would wear like on a Saturday. And I was like,
yeah. I mean, because the thing is, it's like I'm like if I am paying you to represent me in something as serious as court, I'm gonna need you to look serious too.
And let me just say, I would
like this is in the day at the park. We're not picnicking here.
They dismissed my ass. They dismissed me from the trial because they were like, "Ma'am, do you think that he is guilty?" I was like, "Yes, he is guilty." And the trial hadn't even started yet. They were still trying to pick jurors. I was like, why do you think he's guilty? He just looks guilty to me.
Don't let it be a black woman. I'd be like, you know what? I think she's innocent.
Yeah, I would. I'd be like, no, let's just hear what kind of, upbringing she's had. She's bound to have gone through years of like prejudice and racism. Yeah, just give her a break, all right? Just give her a break.
And
Oh,
then she's like a serial killer.
yeah. Yeah, there's a few of those about, but yeah. I just can't believe how messy it is, but never mind.
State, do you recognize our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, do you recognize our jury? Right. Members of the jury, you may be seated. Thank you. Members of our jury, good evening. I understand that you've come to a verdict in this case.
Yes.
If you could please hand the verdict form to the deputy, please. Thanks, sir. Madam Clerk, if you could please publish the verdict.
In the Circuit Court of the Ninth Judicial Circuit and in Orange County, Florida, case number 2020 CF 2603, the state of Florida versus Sarah Boone. Verdict. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree as charged in the information. So say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 25th day of October 2024. The form has been signed by the court.
Madam Clerk, please poll our jury.
Jury seat number 1, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Jury seat number 2, is this your true and correct verdict? Yes, it is. Jury seat number 3, is this your true and correct verdict? Jury seat number 4, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yeah, so she got yes, guilty. Annoyingly, the camera only showed the side of her face. We don't get to see her real sort of reaction there, which is a real shame. Yeah. So that's that, guys. She got her comeuppance.
I think you should go back to Dr. Grande and see his overall analysis of everything after it was over.
Okay. Let's see. Dr. Grande. We love Dr. Grande. Right, where is he now? Let's put in Sarah Boone. There he is.
Because there was some case that he was talking about the other day where he was talking about some criminal or something, and they were like, they talked about his floral shirts and something like that. And then Dr. Grande looked down at his floral shirt, was like, that's what I wear.
Did he say that?
No, he didn't say it, but he just looked down at his shirt like,
yeah.
That now though, because I need to buy new clothes, and I'm like, do I want to buy what I feel comfortable in, or do I want to buy what like I would be perceived well in?
Listen, our Dr. Grande, I don't know if you watch him, Edna. You need to watch him. He's lovely.
Okay. Yeah, you know I don't.
Bridge, did you watch the cruise? Did you watch the cruise video?
Yes.
Oh, him and his wife are the sweetest people.
It was like they matched with everything. Every day they were matching outfits.
Oh, that sounds exhausting.
I had to speed it up though, because bless him, he does talk really slowly, but it was so sweet. And I had it on, I think 1.5, and I just had it running the whole time. And every so often I'd look at it, and yeah, he was always matchy with his wife. It was so cute. I loved it. It was so nice.
They get married.
Pardon?
I say, how long have they been married?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
It
has to be decades.
Yeah. Well, she's just celebrated her 50th.
Wow.
Yeah. But I don't know, but quite a few years. Must be what, 20 years?
Yeah.
I don't know. Right, now am I clicking on the right one? This one then, yeah? Yeah, okay. Here we go.
Started on October 14, 2024. By this time, Sarah changed her story and was now arguing she killed George in self-defense. In my previous video, I covered Sarah's testimony. Essentially, her argument was that George mistreated her in terrible ways for years, which made her fearful and caused her to develop battered spouse syndrome. Technically, of course, Sarah was not a spouse. She wasn't married to George, but the syndrome is not dependent on marital status. On the night of the killing, Sarah and George were just being playful when she zipped him into the suitcase, but then George became mean. Sarah decided to leave George in the suitcase because she was afraid he would kill her. Under cross-examination, the state pointed out a few problems with Sarah's behavior, including the fact that she did nothing to help George. Toward the end of the trial, as part of the state's rebuttal, several videos were introduced which did not look too good for Sarah. Body camera was played in court from when the police were called out to alleged domestic violence incidents involving Sarah and George. These videos made both of them look ridiculous, immature, and irresponsible. After this, the police played cell phone video that Sarah had recorded. Apparently, this was something that she really liked to do.
Right, we've already listened to that. Which bit do we need to go up to then? His analysis at the end. Do you want, girls?
Okay.
Sure.
Right, okay. Is it too fast or are you okay?
Oh, no, it's good.
Not even remember recording her murdering George. When it was time to face the music, Sarah was not interested in accepting any responsibility. She did not want to admit to any crime at all. She had a way to escape with a relatively minor penalty by taking a plea bargain, but Sarah wanted more. George may have been Sarah's adversary, but Sarah was her own worst enemy. She was determined to continue the strategy which she had been using all along. Again, all Sarah's problems were caused by George not listening to her. Now she had a chance to make the jury listen to her message. Figuratively, they were trapped just like George was. They had to sit there as Sarah explained to them how terrible her life was. If they could only understand how much she suffered at the hands of George, if they would only listen to her like George should have listened to her, if they would sit still and hear her argument,
together?
she would never be convicted.
Yeah, they did live together.
They did. Okay.
See, I didn't listen to the trial. I didn't watch any of the trial. And judging by what Dr. Grande is saying here, is she was just feeding the jury like a sob story. And I don't doubt that relationship was very toxic. I don't doubt that. They were both heavy drinkers, and the police used to come and, quite often. And there is documentation of her being injured and him being injured. So I've no doubt about that side of things, but you can't sort of say, well, what she did on that night was okay. It wasn't in self-defense. They weren't in the middle of an argument and she feared for her life. It was cold-blooded. It was cold-blooded murder, I think.
Right.
Yeah, there may be mitigating circumstances, but it was still, and I think she's lucky to have got away with second-degree murder. What do you think? Do you think?
Yeah.
You know what? I think if it wouldn't have been for the cell phone evidence, like the videos and the pictures, she could have told that story and probably gotten away with it.
Yeah.
But having that, it's really hard to sit up there and imagine someone listening to someone beg for their life for 20 minutes. They were kicked down a flight of stairs and all of that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just say, "Oh, well, I was abused," or like you made well, maybe not conscious, but you made decisions to do this to this man, and you need to be held accountable. Because at the end of the day, even if it was an accident, like she didn't think it would lead to him being unalived, she still was willing to do it, like to like let him suffer. And that kind of person shouldn't be out in society.
Yeah, I agree. Right.
Essentially, Sarah was saying, look how bad it was for me. I was always the victim in this relationship. So think of me as a victim now. Being a victim gave me the power and the authority to use deadly force. She was also saying, look what George made me do. His last bad act resulted in his own death. This was his doing. It proves how terrible he was.
See, that doesn't make sense either. Like, he wasn't actually doing anything. He wasn't attacking her when that happened. As far as I know.
But if she's traumatized. Yeah, but I'm just thinking, like, if she's traumatized, she's still living with the man. You know what I mean? Like, she probably can like instantly get back into that, or maybe the alcohol put her into that mood. Like, I can imagine she's like a really angry person underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no way Sarah was going to pass up the largest audience she ever had for her message about George's shortcomings. This was her big chance to point out to the world how she was right the entire time. Sarah wanted and expected a massive victory in court. Killing George wasn't enough. She wanted to walk away from his death a hero, 100% vindicated. She thought that as she walked out of court, people would say, oh, George had it coming. This was nothing even close to a murder.
But I
Mhm.
think, I think Dr. Grande's right in saying this, but I think what goes against that, against her, is the initial police contact she had, because she didn't say to them, oh, he's been really abusive to me, or, her whole point at that time, when she was explaining it to the police initially, was to say that, oh, it was an accident. I didn't realize that, and I was tired and I
Right.
went to sleep.
But
We were playing hide and seek. Do you know what I
I'm
mean?
I'm wondering, did they admit the evidence of her being battered, like the police reports that maybe she has done, and maybe pictures of her being bruised by him? I'm
I
wondering
think
if
they showed
they
it
talked
in the
about that.
court. Yeah. I
Hmm.
think they
Yeah.
showed it in court. Yeah. The
Okay.
I
defense
don't know the
lawyer.
relevance of that. I mean, I understand that that puts her in a certain state, X, Y, and Z, but she still intentionally, you know what I mean? She still did what
Yeah.
she did.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
even, because if it was like, it's one thing if he was like, I don't even know, because it's like, I can't even imagine a situation where he would be being abusive and put himself in a vulnerable state like that.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that's what doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I agree. And I think, just the body cam of, the police body cam showing her her state at the beginning worked
Hmm.
against her in the end, because if it had been if she was going to go for the self-defense thing, then she would have brought it up then, I think.
Yep. Yep.
you know and so I really believe that that didn't do her any favors.
Really, Sarah should be elected president or something because she's such a great individual. It does not surprise me that Sarah was shocked by her conviction. In addition to a long prison sentence, Sarah has to face something much more frightening. Her feelings were invalidated. The jury shattered her entire belief system. Her understanding of the world has been exposed as incorrect. My guess is that Sarah will come to view this jury as yet another entity who mistreated her. So they're just getting in line. There's
Yep.
this line that is formed of people who just don't understand how great Sarah is, and they
Yep.
don't understand how much she was victimized. Now move.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I do agree with what he's saying. And I think that's where the delusion comes from,
Yeah.
and the sense of superiority. I think and maybe, it's about her intelligence. Maybe she feels she's intellectually superior. I don't know, but she certainly had, and that would actually go with her persona, the way she first presented herself um, to the police. That, I can't believe this happened.
Hmm.
It was a complete accident, and I just went to sleep. And even, but giving that story, she didn't realize that that was going to be the thing that buried her, really,
Right.
because that
Yeah.
didn't make sense. And she
Well,
just,
because at any other time that would have worked. You know what I mean? Like when you think about like the history of, like how I don't know what you would call it, but just like the damsel in distress kind of white woman story or situations. If that cell phone didn't, if she hadn't made those videos and taken those pictures and stuff, I think she very well could have gotten away with it. Because it sounds likely. Like we were drinking. I planned on, I didn't plan on leaving them in there, but I went up to go to sleep and oops, you know.
but I mean bringing up the videos that she took. Why did she take those videos?
Because she was
I mean,
drunk and stupid.
because of what?
She was drunk and stupid.
Yeah, but don't you think that shows like, real sort of, I've forgotten the word I was going to say now.
Malice?
Wickedness.
I,
Yeah.
I don't think so,
No,
because
like
like
I
she even forgot that she took the videos. That's why the police found them. She was
yeah.
drunk.
Well, and I was gonna say in like a lot of Asian countries, you being drunk diminishes your like responsibility.
Hmm.
I don't know. I just think it just proved how vindictive she was. I mean, what was she getting? When was she going to view them again? Do you know what I mean?
She forgot that she even took them, because like I had been around a
Yeah.
person who was drunk, and the next day they were worried. They were asking me, did I mention this and this and this around another person? And I was just like, no, because they really didn't remember what they did, what they said, or anything like that. Like, I think that she was blackout drunk and does not remember what she did in her drunken state.
Oh,
And plus, we
right.
take videos and pictures all the time and never go back to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving to my final thoughts. When looking at the relationship between Sarah and George, one is left with the impression that they were both destined for destruction. They were trapped in a strange cycle that could only end one way, badly. Sarah killed George, but her work was not done. This was only half the job. Without the insight to realize it, Sarah acted to complete the cycle of destruction and walked herself directly into a long prison sentence, longer than she needed to serve. George may have died at Sarah's hands, but the dynamic he shared with her lived on through Sarah and gained his revenge. Those are my thoughts on this extremely bizarre case.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's got a good point there. Does he say anything else there? I don't think he does.
It has ended in a way that I think everybody expected, except for Sarah. And it's left a few questions out there, right? There's still, I think, a little bit of a mystery as to exactly what happened. The trial did clear up a lot, however. It really gave people, I think, a better view of what Sarah was really like her true nature. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't self-defense. It truly was second-degree murder. She was convicted of exactly what she did. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Bye, Dr. Grande.
So
Yeah.
Sasha has a question that I was actually going to bring up too.
Right, Sasha in the house. Right, what you saying, Sasha? Where are we?
I was like, that's a whole case right there.
I know. Listen, Sasha. Yeah, I was kind of, because I was there was nobody in, so yeah, it's easier for me just to ignore the chat. But then I do have two girls on panel who can address the chat. But hey, hello. Right, yeah, we're gonna leave that for Friday.
that is totally a Murder Monday case.
Mhm. Wow, what an interesting
You know what?
case.
It's technically not on his record.
Well, we don't know. Is it ongoing? We
Well, he
don't
pulled it
know.
up, apparently.
He what?
He pulled it up, apparently, like on stream. And show, like, this is me, like, when you look me up in the system, and this is what's listed on my record. And it's
No, that was on a regular website that anybody could have pulled up, because I pulled it up too. I pulled it up too. It could be a different division in the little court system or whatever. It could be on his record. Like, I don't see how it can not be on his record.
Yeah,
I
I understood that it was an ongoing case. Because it hasn't been. I mean, if the police have decided to go ahead, which is what he said, then there's going to be a case about it. And we know who's going to be in the prosecution.
Well, you know, he makes it seem like, you know, it happened in June. They had 6 weeks of therapy. They're all good now.
No.
No worries.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that was court ordered therapy. That was just therapy that he said that they decided to go through. So, I mean, because a lot of the times in cases like that, the courts don't order therapy or anything like that. That was just like his decision.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, but then
Because
if
I guess the court wouldn't want them together, right?
Do you know, I very nearly considered doing a special Murder Monday on that today. And then I thought we need to gather a bit more information on it.
I'm sure Hurl is working very hard
Yeah.
to gather all of the evidence.
Big up to her, that's what I say. Because
oh, I sent panties to somebody over the internet. I got your panties.
oh, I'm gonna get the information. I was like, Earl, no. Earl.
Yeah, but I think big up to her, because if it wasn't for her,
Absolutely.
then we wouldn't know about it. And I
True.
think we
True.
need to know about it. We need to know who these people
Yes,
are. And, you know, it's not just about the fact that, you know, he presents as some kind of person. I saw through him straight away. And
You did.
all right, I labeled him as being jealous because I was looking at it from a personality point, point.
Mhm.
But I knew that guy wasn't legit. I
But
just knew it.
also,
You
there were already
you know what?
the
I didn't
ru-
see it.
Oh, I
Go
did.
ahead, Bridget.
what I mean, there were already the rumors out there about him. Like another person had come to me saying some stuff about him and the rumors about him, but I'm just like, you know, it's not corroborated or anything like that. But also, Monty has told a lot, but a lot of people don't think of Monty as a credible person and things of that nature. But
No.
he basically laid out everything about
I don't understand.
Hannibal.
I don't understand why people don't think Monty's credible.
Because I think it's because he, like, people have gone after Monty and he gets so mad and it's so reactive that it's just like, oh, he's just lashing out because this person and that person came after him. So he's
Yeah,
just
I see that he's
reactionary.
lashing out, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's not true.
But I think it's because
That's what I'm yeah.
I think it's just because
This
it's
is
so
approach.
reactive. Like, yeah, he comes like
Okay.
right after them and he comes so hard. You're just like, come on, dude, like, calm down. You know, it's
We're bullshitting on the internet. Calm down.
Yeah. See, I didn't realize how bad he was until I saw his Twitter. And I thought, oh my God, I didn't realize he was that bad. But yeah, Monty can
let me tell you,
be.
Monty is nasty, but let me tell you that, like, when I watch his streams, when I get to him occasionally, the way that he just talks and he's like, this fucking bitch, this bitch,
He
this
does.
I just start cracking up because, like, I know that he's mad, but his voice, it just makes me crack the hell
Yes,
up.
when Hannibal was like his squeaky voice, I would be dying. Because it does get to that point sometimes.
I know, but I remember months ago, I don't know which live we were on, but I remember somebody bringing up something about, the Hannibal rumors. And I was like, okay, so what are the Hannibal rumors? And nobody would tell me what they were.
Oh, I could have found, yeah.
And but you didn't, Bridge.
Yeah, because like nothing was corroborated, and I kind of thought that, okay, these are some women that are just kind of probably mad at him, and still, like, Hannibal did not present himself to me like as being that type of person. So I figured that they were just trying to maybe get back at him, and, like, who knows what to believe, but. Yeah, like, now that this stuff has come out, everything adds up. Everything adds up.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I don't watch Monty, but I have to say I dipped into one of his videos today, and I was like, oh my God, because it goes across the platforms, doesn't it? It goes into the gaming community as well.
No.
And yeah, I mean, I hope that, that he is actually held accountable for what he's done, and he should be dropped like a hot potato. But what amazed me was just reading the chat in that video that he did in that live stream.
Jen, did you see his?
Did I see his what? Oh no, she's lost her mic. Edna, come back. Edna, come back.
While we're waiting for Edna, I mean, there was a couple of people.
Sorry,
Oh, go ahead.
I was taking care of somebody in the chat, and my phone connected to my headset instead
Oh.
of the computer.
Oh,
Apologies.
okay. Yeah, what were you saying? What were you saying before that
Oh,
happened?
what was I saying? Oh, right. You were talking about him being dropped from the community. His stream was coddling him. He
Oh
Yes.
presented himself as
no.
the victim. Like they
Yep.
were telling him, "Oh, Hannibal, it's okay. We still love you."
Yep.
It was disgusting.
But
Yeah.
I will say that there were a couple of people, even one person that went on panel, basically coddling him, that came over into my comments and were like, "Well, we didn't really know the whole story." And it was one girl that was on panel. She was just like, "I unsubbed from him and I dropped my membership from him because I didn't know the whole story. Like I came in late on the stream and I thought that people were just kind of ganging up on him and it was just a whole bunch of BS." But she was like, "No." She was like, "Now that I see everything, that no."
I'll have to DM you about that
Even if
because
you,
I'm kind of hoping it's the person that I think it is because I've struggled a bit with that since then.
Oh no, it's not. No, if you're thinking of the person that I'm thinking of, then no, it's not that person. It's not that
Oh,
person. No,
oh,
it's a
okay,
person that I had never seen before.
okay. Because
Yeah,
I feel I don't want to do it publicly.
yeah,
I'd rather do it in DMs.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm not feeling comfortable about
yeah.
somebody.
I mean,
And
but we also have to think too that like there's people that have been ganged up on in the community as well,
yeah.
and stories have been made up about that.
Chris,
There's what?
I'm sorry, that panel was ridiculous. But Dale
Yeah,
was up there basically throwing the panties at the
yeah,
man while he's addressing DV accusations.
yeah,
Oh
Allegations.
yeah.
God.
It was really disturbing. Not to mention you had Mash up there, somebody who I don't know her history, but has some kind of tie to it, and
Mhm.
her in the way that I don't know, it was like if she was almost used. I don't even know because I don't want to put more on it than it is. I don't want to draw
Mm.
attention to Mash because I think she's getting enough. But it's just the fact that the way she was used as well was a problem. It wasn't like I would even say like GP, like he's kind of come back and backtracked and
Well,
basically, said no, I don't have anything to do with him because I kind of really listened
Oh,
to the whole
has
story and
he?
rethought
get
and
the fuck
reconsidered.
like
Has
whatever,
he?
motherfucker. Whatever. But I'm just whatever about him. But I'm talking about like early
But
on.
that's
I'm talking about early on in the panel and people that came up like early on in the panel. We just before the doofus crew came up of GP and
Oh,
Vidal, before they came up, there were people that came up that basically were like, "I'm still in your corner" and stuff like that. And I'm giving, I feel like I'm giving grace to them because maybe they did not hear the whole story at that time, and they still said that they supported him. So
yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
that's very hypocritical because when, if you want to take Jen's situation where
mhm.
she, like she just said something that people didn't agree with. She didn't even
Yeah,
agree with the situation, but she just had like a slightly different take, and everybody
yeah,
was like, absolutely not. This
yeah,
Mhm.
man doesn't disagree that he put his hand on a woman in anger, and everybody's like, no big deal. We all make
yeah,
mistakes. And damn near 50.
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
And this bracelet story, I mean, come on, man. Come on. It's like I tried to write. I didn't watch all of it because it was like early in the morning here.
Uh-huh.
I watched the
Mhm.
beginning of it and then I watched the end because Bridget had told me that the slow one had been on.
Mhm.
So I then watched the end. So I did miss quite a big chunk in the middle, but I was done with it anyway. I was like, I couldn't believe how his
Yeah.
chat was supporting him. I
Yeah.
just couldn't believe it. And and all these panelists, they're all lining up to say how wonderful he was. I was like, are you joking me?
And women at that. This man does
Yeah.
not respect women. This man doesn't love women. And you sitting
No,
up here just giving you his adoration? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
I couldn't believe it. I was so angry, and I tried to write. Well, I did write something in the comment section, and I don't know whether it was just ignored or if I'm blocked. But I was like, do I need to go up there? And then I thought, no, don't
Oh
go up there.
no. Oh no.
Don't go up there, because I would have ripped him to pieces. I mean, to
Well,
sit
he
there
wasn't
all
listening
smug,
anyway.
all smug,
Yeah.
like, oh,
He would
wow.
have kicked you off. He would have kicked you
Oh,
off.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he was playing around with your mama when he went up
Yeah.
there. Because
Yeah.
and that was the other part. When he was talking to Mash, he was just basically let it be awkward silence and like putting the whole conversation on her as if it wasn't his panel and his show. But when your mama came up, it wasn't none of that.
Yep.
Totally different energy.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
it's like what
Yep.
Bridge said, like what you said, Bridge. You know, the nerve of him to sit there and take all the applause, right, of everybody else, and then when a guy comes up there and tells him you're
Yep.
wrong, he then
Yep.
goes for the attack.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, like you still big and bad. You're like, I felt like at this point in time, you're supposed to be humble. You got caught doing something wrong. You're acting like you're so sorry. But then when a man, it's the fact it was a man. A man comes up to you and says how wrong that you are, then that's when you want to go off and have a smart mouth. Really? Really?
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And then you've got GP on there. I heard a bit of GP on there. I was like, are you serious, man? Are you? How can you stand behind a man that does that?
GP goes off on nonsense tangents all the time. But it's like you would think if something as serious as this, you would take a step and think, and reconsider. But they're buddies. So the thing with GP, I think he's smart enough to know that he can't publicly be associated with Hannibal any longer. But I think privately, that's still his buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me what he said then. Has he backtracked?
Wait a minute. This is supposed to be for Drama Friday.
Yeah, it is. We're meant to have gone by now.
I'm about to go in.
We'll talk about this on Drama Friday, girls. All right, because we just talk and put him in his place. But and it's a shame actually. I'm not going to say I feel sorry for Monty, but I do think that it's good that he's now talking about it, and give everybody the information, because this guy is a predator.
Wait, Jan, did you see that his ex-mods have a channel? That Hannibal's ex-mods have a channel?
I saw, but one of those is my Doxer Bridge, so I have a job.
Oh yes, I forgot.
Yeah, but I'm glad. I mean, do you want to tell me what they said? Was there anything that they actually said?
Yes, a lot. They said a lot, but Friday.
All right, we'll save that for Friday. Right, Bridget wants to get
you don't have to necessarily play her to get the information too.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks, girlies, for coming up today. See you. Should we do Wednesday? No, it's my granddaughter's
It is on the
birthday.
schedule.
Yeah, no, it's my granddaughter's birthday. I can't do Wednesday.
Oh.
See you on Friday.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God, she's going to be 15.
Oh, she's grown.
Oh my goodness.
She's 15 going on 25.
She's not.
Yeah.
Bless her.
Is she really?
Yeah, I know. Love her to
What are
pieces.
you guys doing?
It's time for her to start driving. Let's go.
Oh, don't. Don't. It's time for her to start living. That's what I'm scared about. Anyway, thanks, girlies. See you on Friday. And thanks to the chat. Sasha, lovely to see you, darling. See you on Friday. Take care of yourselves out there, because trust me, it's a rotten old world. So until the next one, bye-bye for now.